So welcome all of you for this yoga quiz class. As we discussed yesterday, little bit introduction. Anyone having any doubt regarding this? What we discussed yesterday? If you have any doubt, also we can discuss it later. But now, let me start with the introduction part again. So, as we discussed, Yog Bij, the Bija means the seed. So, Yog Bij is a very small yogic text which is act as the seed of the yoga practices or the knowledge, who is written by the Guru Gorakshnath during the time period of 10th to 11th century. Okay, so this book or this text is consist of 2001 total slokas are there, and as here is the discussion in between the two person who is the two person.
Ma'am, it's excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
It's 2000 or 201.
which one? 10th to 11th century. Oh, sorry, 201 slokas. Total slokas is 201.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Here is the discussion between two person. What the two person? One is Lord Shiva and another one is the goddess Parvati. The two here, Shiva is act as an teacher, and the Parvati is act as an here disciple. So every question is asked by the Parvati. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, how Arjuna is asking to the Lord Sri Krishna in the same way, here Parvati is also asking many type of questions to the Lord Shiva as a genuine one person, how the face the problem, what type of problem that will be avoid. In the same way, by unknowing person, like a goddess Parvati is behaving and asking her all type of confusion questions to the Lord Shiva, and very happily and very delightedly Lord Shiva is giving all the answers and discussing. That is described here in this 2001 sorry 201 sloka, and this all questions, total questions is asked by the goddess Parvati is 12 number of questions, and Shiva is also giving the answer of this 12 questions. But he described in a different way. The first concept, it will be starting with the how the persons are getting this sufferings or what are the things. Then it will be end with the siddhis or different type of how one will be get moksha. That is the ending question answers are going on in this way. So in this yoga base, there are four kinds of yogas are discussed. Like first one is the mantra yoga, how mantra yoga will be starting or beginner of the practitioner, then it will be converted to the hatha yoga. After that hatha yoga, when that stage will become to the laya yoga, then again lastly the person or the practitioner who is doing the yoga practice, that will be converted to, or it will be enter in the Raj yoga, is the last stage according to the Lord Shiva. So these four types of yoga are discussing in this Yoga Bija. So that this is known as the Maha Yoga. When this four is combined together, so here according to the Lord Shiva, the starting point or the beginner, when it is started doing the yoga practices, that person or that thing is in the stage of mantra yoga. So automatically one by one steps are increasing, and lastly when the practitioner will get enlightened or becoming merged with that supreme, so that is converted in the Raj Yoga. Okay, in this way it is discussed. And next, yoga practices. How many types of yoga practices are discussing here? The three types of yoga practices are there. One is asana, and second one is the pranayama, and third one is the bandha. So asana one is only discussed, that is the Vajrasana, which is named as Vajrasana, but the procedure of sitting is Siddhasana. Okay, and the pranayama, as we discussed, there are two types of pranayama or kumbhaks are named here. So that is Sahita, and another one is the Keval. So again, Sahita is described in the four types, that is the Surya Bheda, Ujjayi, Titli, and Vastri. The Bhastrika is here. It is known as the Bhastri Pranayam. So all of you need to remember. And these four are including in the Sahita Kumbhak. Keval Kumbhak, that is not described more. Only Lord, Lord Shiva is said here that when one will be achieved this also with Sahita Kumbhak, then lastly he will get the exclusive one, that is the Keval Kumbhak. Okay, then three bandhas are discussed here: Jalandhar Bandh and Udyan Bandh and the Moola Bandh. Three bandhas are discussed, and Granthis also discuss. Three types of Granthis are there: Brahma, Rudra, and Vishnu Granthis. And he also described about the best number. The best number is a soft, pure white robe, which is having the 12 finger length and 4 finger breadth. And this is a gift by the teacher, which gift, which is the teacher will be give to his disciple, who is very sincere and doing the all type of service. Then only after satisfying above the disciple, then the teacher will give this gift to the his disciple. And as we know, whenever Guru Gorakshnath is discussing about any Hatha Yogic text, so in all Hatha Yogic text, you can get the Kundalini description, and that is 8-folded. But in other Hatha Yogic text, that is different measurement are given, like 3.5 and 4.5, like this. But here, Guru Gorakshnath is discussing that is 8-fold Kundalini. And the total nadis are described here, 72,000 nadis are there. And he also discussed the three nadis are important: Ida, Pingala, and Susumna. And Susumna is considered as the Vishwadharini here. And there are 21 gems and fragments are there in the Merudanda. And how they are working, how that will be go, that is also discussed here. And the path, the way, how one will be achieve the moksha path, or moksha, or get liberated. So the path is discussing here by the Lord Shiva is two paths. That is, one is Kakamat, another one is the Markatmat. So Kakamat here it is described as the Gyani path, and Markatmat is described as the Yogi path. How it will be described, that will go on the whenever we discuss about the questions, then we know about this more. Then again, siddhis are described lastly, that is the imaginative and unimaginative siddhis, like the power and the magical powers, how one will be get up when one is continue with the path of siddhi, then what type of power will be developed by the practitioner, that is discussed as is siddhi. Okay. So these are the most important points what we discuss in the Yoga Beach. Okay, next comes to the 12 questions. So one by one, the all questions are here. So all 12 questions are differently asked by the goddess Parvati. Like first, I need to read out here. How could the self free from the suffering, and what are the means of salvation? That this is the first question. And second question is how oneself, which is considered supreme self, got this spiritual self. So one by one questions are very closely to all the questions are very closely linked, because after one question, when one will be elaborate, means Lord Shiva when elaborate about the first question, then again Goddess Parvati is know about the second question. Second question will be in doubt, in dilemma. She is asking the second question. In the same way, when Lord Shiva giving the answer about the second question, again she comes with the third question. So every questions and every answers are here linked to each other. Then how it will be linked, we will see in this fast by the fast questions. Okay. So here in the Yoga Beach, first sloka is started with by saluting the Adinath. So here it is discussed that Namaste Adinathaya Vishwanathaya Te Namaha. Namaste Vishwarupaya Vishwanathaya Te Namaha. Means here the Adinath is discussing about the Lord Shiva. As we know, whenever Hatha Yogic text is written, and which is coming to the Guru Parampara, like Nath Sampradaya, they all are considered as the Lord Shiva as the Adinath. Okay. One another in the textbooks also we get this name. Where it is? Can anyone tell me in which textbooks we got the same name? Yes, anyone? Hatha Pradipika. Very good. Okay, in Hatha Pradipika is also followed the Nath Sampradaya or Nath Parampara. So that is also the writer is considered as the Adinath, as the Lord Shiva. So, okay. So here you need to remember the what is Guru Gorakshnath is telling. Oh Lord Adinath Sankara, you are the beyond world. Means here all the writings are written by the Guru Gorakshnath, but the conversation, whatever there is, first there Goddess Parvati is telling to the Adinath or giving his salutation to the Adinath that you are the beyond world and you are the world form. You creator of this world, only master of the whole world. You are the one person who is the master of the whole world. And I'm just constantly offer you the our prayer. Here it is said by the goddess Parvati. And the here no most important names you need to remember in this slide. That is the Lord Shiva. What are the other names are described in this Yog Bij of the Lord Shiva? Okay. The first name here we seen that first one is the Adinath, and the other names are here. Jagannath is also considered here as the Lord Shiva, and Vishwarupa, the third name, and Vishwanatha, fourth name, and Vishwatita. Okay, these four names that are used for the Lord Shiva here. So here you need to remember that in Jagannath, as we know, it is considered as the Lord Vishnu, but here Jagannath is named here in this yoga is it is considered as the Lord Shiva. Okay, in the same way, the goddess Parvati is also other names are here. It is discussed. One is Jagadamba and Adishwari, and the third one is the Sureshwari. So these are the three other names. And what are the other names that discussed? That is very common name. So that you can remember that, but what are the different names that are symbolized here that I want to represent in this slide. So you have to remember most importantly, Jagannath is here considered as the Lord Shiva, and the Vishwarupa, Vishwanatha, and Vishwatita. Okay, so all of you clear about this slide? Let me confirm.
Yes,
All are
ma'am.
here?
Ma'am, I had a doubt in this.
Yes,
Vishwaroop means Lord Vishnu's avatar.
yes,
That time we use this word, na, like Vishwarupa for his 10th avatar. So here we are talking about Lord Shiva.
yes,
So
yes. That you need to remember. Here, Vishwarupa, as we know, Jagannath is also another name of Jagannath is also another name of Lord Vishnu, and Vishwarupa is also we are talking about the whenever but here all the names are the synonyms or of the Lord Shiva according to the writer. Okay.
okay.
Yes. Any other doubt? All of you get my point from this slide? Please confirm because I am unable to see your message or
Yes,
anything.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your response. So come with the first question. The very, very interesting question here. So Goddess Parvati start asking the question, means one by one fire of the questions now will be on the Lord Shiva. The first question is asking by the Parvati that how could the self free from the suffering? Suffering means what? What type of pains we are going on, or what type of the difficulties are there, that are the sufferings. Then how a self or the self is free from this sufferings? That is the first question is asked by the goddess Parvati. And what are the means of salvation? Then you just tell me first how a jiva will get free from this bondage, and how one, that is the same suffering means that is the bondage, that how one will be free from this bondage and becomes get the salvation. What are the means? How many types of the way is there to get the salvation? So by giving this answer, So all of you got this question, yes or no? Free from the suffering means what type of, what you understand the meaning of suffering? Yes, anyone?
Sufferings from the pain and all the material sufferings,
Yes. What
life
are
and
the,
death.
we are attaching with the materialistic world? Yes or no? We are just acquainted with the materialistic world. If anything is not there or anything is absent, then we are become in pain. That may be physically, that may be physically, that may be any objectively, that may be of anything. So that how one will be get free. That one would will be achieve his success, or what is that success? What is the result? Ultimately, that is the moksha state. That is the salvation state. Then how one will be get the salvation? So that is the first question. So by replying this question, the Lord Shiva is telling or discussing that those persons, so who is suffering, how one is suffering, so that is the answer here. The person who are objects to the study scriptures and practicing logic, grammars, etc., seek to achieve moksha. Okay, they do not succeed in achieving the supreme state kaivalya. So here it is stated that the supreme state, or that is known as the kaivalya here. So what Lord Shiva is telling, that the person who is only studying the scriptures, that means the shastras, and practicing whatever the shastras is written there, that only he is practicing that logic and that grammar, that the tarkas that he is doing this. Then one and think that I will, by doing these things or by reading or by studying or by collecting the knowledge, I get the moksha. That is wrong concept here, according to the Lord Shiva. Okay, they do not succeed in achieving the supreme state. Who are just collecting the knowledge, that person will be not get that supreme state. That state is kaivalya. So and not get free from the bondage. And they are, if they are unable to get the kaivalya state, obviously they are not free from the bondage world. Okay. So here one more thing is discussing, the kaivalya is what we think that salvation or kaivalya state or moksha state, or that is as the parampad. That state is called here parampad. Okay, all are similar. Little bit different changes are there, different stages are there, but all the terms are equal and all are associated with that kaivalya state only, that parampad only. Okay, so then what? How they will be get free? So here it is said that the Lord Shiva is telling there are many paths. I hope all of you got the first question answer, that how could the self free from the suffering. So here Lord Shiva is telling, by only reading the scriptures, by only collecting the knowledge, one cannot get free from the suffering. Okay, and cannot get that parampad path. Then how one will be get that moksha path or that kaivalya state? So what are the means? That is the only one path or only one means, that is called as the siddhi mark. There are many paths are there. Okay, according to the Lord Shiva, there are many paths. But when one will be comes in the one easiest path, or that one is called as here siddhi mark or siddhi path or nath mark. Okay, the same names but in different way it is present. That is the siddhi marg is also said the same. Marg means what? The road. And the path means what? The way. Okay, and nath marg is also same, the same meaning, but the different little bit changes are there. You have to remember that one person, how one will be get the moksha or kaivalya state? By following the path of siddhi marg. Okay, what is siddhi marg? That is not described here. That is discussed in the 10th number of question. Okay, but only here the Lord Shiva highlighted that if you are thinking that knowledge will be the easiest path to get that moksha or that kaivalya state, it is wrong. If we are only collecting the knowledge, then it is the just waste of time, and you are not free from that bondings, or you are again and again you are coming in the cycle of birth and death. Okay, so how one will be get free from this sufferings? So that person or that practitioner should be follow the path of Siddhi mark or Siddhi path or Nath mark. Why it is called as the Nath mark? Anyone can any idea why it is said as the Nath mark, Siddhi mark or Siddhi path? That is genuine because you are doing the Siddhi, or you are going in a sadhana, so that it may be because of that its name is Siddhi path or Siddhi mark. But why it is known as the Nath mark? Anyone? Any idea?
Ma'am, we call it Nath Marg because the Gorakshnath, they belongs to Nath Sampradaya,
Yes,
maybe.
very good, very good. Because all the gurus are who are Gorakshnath is also related to the Nath Sampradaya. So because that all the gurus are telling that you have to follow this path, because that path is coming under the Nath Parampara, so that it is named as the Nath Mark or Nath. Okay. So here more thing Lord Shiva is telling that supreme consciousness is self-enlightened. Okay, no need to enlighten it by forcefully. It is supreme consciousness is self-enlightened. So self is unassuming, indivisible. Indivisible means that cannot be divided, and it will be pure, and it is free from all sorts of attachment and beyond time, beyond all the materialistic possessions. But when it involved with the bad and good karmas, then it considered as the jiva. Okay, jiva. Now little bit he is trying to giving the concept of what is who is self and how it is will link with the supreme consciousness, and what are the qualities of the self, then how it becomes the converted into the jiva or jivatma, how it will be converted. So first he is trying to say that self or the self is the part or is the form of supreme consciousness who is indivisible, and it is becomes very pure. When atma is there, that self is, that is very pure, and it is free from all type of bondings, all type of sorts, or all type of attachments, and it has become beyond the time, and it is also free from all the materialistic activities. So but when that involved with the bad and good karmas, karmas are actions are playing a very important role here. When self is engaged with the karmas or actions, that may be bad, that may be of good, because whenever you attach with the bad karmas, obviously you get the result of that effect. And whenever you also connected with the good karmas, then also you getting the result. So that it is said that in the Bhagavad Gita, you have to do not bad and not good karma. That you have to do which type of karma? So yes, anyone?
Unattached karma, selfless
Yes,
karma.
yes. By surrendering yourself to that action, you have to perform that in that way, so that that karma or action will be not affect you. That may be bad, that may be good. Okay. But here Lord Shiva is trying to say self is very pure, but when it comes with the attach of the karmas, then only it considered as the jiva. Okay. So that next question will be asked by the Lord, Goddess Parvati here by linking with the first question answer. How then? How you just tell me? You are telling about the self is not. It is very pure, and it is not connected with the that attachments or materialistic world. You are telling, and but whenever one want to get that supreme state, then one should follow the Siddhi mark. And now you just tell me a little bit about that. That how the one self. If you are telling self is very pure, then how the what is the procedure? How oneself, which is considered as the supreme self, got this individual self? You, all of you got this question? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Ha. If you are telling self is very pure and it is beyond the world, then how it will be converted that this individual self? Individual self in the by the sense it is talking about the Jivatma. How this self is converted to this Jivatma? You just give me, you just discuss, you just elaborate me about that. So by giving this answer, question number 2, Lord Shiva is telling self is above all the states. Little bit more also discuss about the self, how it is very important, how it is prior, how it is superior. So that is also discussed a little bit. I'm just for understanding purpose, little bit I'm written here. But you have to understand that self is above the all the states and free from all the attachments. Okay, but ahankara, but only when it will be get that individual self. Now, when ahankara means ego will be rises in in it due to flash of ignorance, just like given an example. Very good examples are given here by the Lord Shiva. How as means unknowingly, where whenever you see a water is falling from the top to the bottom, unknowingly some type of bubbles are coming. Yes or no? In the water flow, when water will be flow from the up in a very higher part or very lower part also, when the water is coming down, automatically some bubbles are coming on the water. Yes or no? Yes, just confirm. Have you seen?
Yes, ma'am.
In the same way, but the water when it's flowing from the top, that is in that situation, it is also water. And when it is coming down, the state is also same water. It is not converted to the another one. In the but unknowingly some bubbles are coming in the water like this. In this image, have you seen the different bubbles are coming on in the water? In the same way, similarly, first of all, ego emerged from the self on its own. Means unknowingly, or the ego is immersed, or the ego is attached with the self. When this ego is attached with self, how what will be happen? Now, first self will be attached with the ego. When ego will be attached or the ahankar will be arises, then five elements will become, that is the panchabhutas. Then after that panchabhutas, then 7 elements will be attached on that self, that is the saptadhatu. As we know, what are the 5 elements? Can anyone tell me? What are the 5 elements of panchabhutas are there? Please unmute
Earth,
yourself.
water, fire, air,
Water.
ether.
Yes. मतलब कि आकाश, वायु, अग्नि, जल और पृथ्वी. और इसका हमको it's like this, or you can explain like these are the panchabhutas. In the same way, 7 elements are also there. Saptadhatu. What are the saptadhatu?
रस, रक्त, मांस, मेद, अस्थि, मज्जा, शुक्र.
Yes. So what Lord Shiva is trying to say here, that when the self is connected with the ego, automatically 5 elements is also come with in that self. That is the panchabhutas. When panchabhutas will be attached with the self, the third stage will become what is joint in that self. That is the 7 elements or saptadhatu. When seven elements is also connected or joined with that self, then automatically 3 attributes are come. What are the 3 attributes? That is the 3 gunas. What are the 3 gunas?
Sattva, Rajas, Tamas.
Yes, sattva, rajas and tamas. 3 attributes will become. When these 3 attributes will become with that self, then it makes the body, or that made the pinda, or that made the jiva. Okay, when these all are attached with the self, that thing or that element is converted as the body or jiva, or that is the pinda. It is also called the pinda, or that is called as the individual soul. Okay, But when this pinda, the three attributes is also developed, the lastly, the body is automatically feeling some sensation or some feelings will become in that body. When the sensation will become, the automatically joys and sorrows will be there, automatically actions will be there. So when this body will be combined, ultimately self, starting stage is self and ending stage is body or the pinda. When this process is going on and now at last we get the body, when the self is attached with this body or pinda, then only it converted as the jivatma, or that is the embodied soul. Okay, embodied soul here, soul means what? Who having the sensation, who having the actions, who is performing that good actions or bad actions, because that only because of that only he that Jivatma is able to feel the joys and sorrows. Okay. So by describing this question and answer, that how the self is converted the individual self, Lord Shiva is discussing that self unknowingly, automatically some ahankaras or egos are arising in the self. When this ahankara and egos are rises in the self, automatically five elements will be created or panchabhutas are attached with that self. When Panchabhutas are also created and it will be attached, automatically seven elements or Saptadhatus also created, and that is also attached with the self. When this Saptadhatu is also attached with that self, automatically three attributes will become, that is the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. When these all are getting together, then it form the body or jiva or pinda. Okay, when this pinda will be conformed and formed, that pinda having some sensation. Some when the sensation will be appear, so automatically that pinda will be feel joys and sorrows. The last element, what is that? Body and the self. When this all are combined together, then only it form the jivatma or embodied soul. Okay, and little bit more discussed here. When this embodied soil will become, in this state all imperfections, automatically all type of imperfections will be raised in the cell or in the jivatma. What are these imperfections? Now the desire to want anything, means wanting will be developed, anger will be developed, fear will be developed, care will be developed, greed will be developed, attachment with all the things, all the materialistic world, that will also develop. Disease also develop. Because of disease, old age is also developed, the misery also developed, and joy also developed. So all the things, these imperfections or impurities will be developed in that self. And when a jiva free from all this imperfection, then himself becomes the Shiva. But when, how the that self is converted the jivatma, that is also said by the Lord Shiva. Then again Lord Shiva is telling, when one jiva or jivatma become free from these imperfections, means again self is combining with the jivatma. When jivatma is again converted to that self, means all remove all impurities, then it becomes converted the Shiva or the form of God. Okay. The path of sadhana and wisdom are required to destroying this imperfection. So what is the path? How one that jivatma will get that that self again, or that pure state again? That person or that practitioner should follow the path of sadhana and wisdom. Okay, now the little bit Lord Shiva is telling about the jnana, that sadhana is also required and wisdom, means jnana is also required to destroying this imperfection. What are the imperfection I am telling you here? That you need to remove. Then how one need to remove? Now that for remove that imperfection, one need to do the sadhana and need the knowledge. Okay, so whether yoga or wisdom alone do not help in the achieving moksha. And so Lord Shiva is telling, only if you are thinking that yoga will be give you the help to remove this imperfection. No, no, no. Only wisdom? No, no. Only one cannot give you that perfection state or cannot give you that Shiva state. You have to come with the both. What are the both things? That is the yoga, and as well as wisdom is also coming with the each other. When both are complement, because both are complement to each other, so that you need to do, if one want to remove his perfection, then one need to follow the both yoga and wisdom. All of you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All of, what about
Yes,
others?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
of
ma'am.
you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope all of you get my point. Or all of you feel bored.
No,
No, ma'am,
we
we
have
are
got the point.
understanding in a very simple way.
Okay, okay. Because many things are in between, you have to understand in that way. If you understand it in a story way, then it will be very easy to remember all the questions, because these are very small text na. If you try to remind these things, that is very difficult. By writing notes, then you have to remind, no. So try to understand in a story form, so that it will be uh, remember very easily. Okay, let's come to the three question we need to complete today. Okay, so after knowing about the Supreme Self and how it will be converted, how self is created and how the self is converted to the Jivatma. Again, how Jivatma will be converted to the self, because by removing the all impurities. So here little bit Lord Shiva is giving introduction about the wisdom and yoga. So the unknowing person, obviously, if we are also in the same stage, we are also asking what you are telling these two words. You just explain me about that. The same way, here Goddess Parvati is also asking, after listening in completeness of the wisdom and the yoga, Parvati is asking for the clarity, that I also want to know what is wisdom and what is yoga. You just describe me. The third question is, if salvation is achieved by knowledge, then what is the need of yoga? Because so here little bit misunderstanding is created by the Lord Shiva, or we can say misunderstood by the Goddess Parvati, that salvation, because all we know in every text is also talking about that knowledge is the best way to get the salvation. So the Parvati is also asking the same thing. If you are telling for salvation or getting that higher state, knowledge is enough, then what is the need of yoga? So that here in this third question, Lord Shiva is describing more. What is knowledge? Which type of knowledge? So here you must be know, as we also know in every sector. In the second question also is in the last line, that both are required for your wisdom. Sorry, both are required for your salvation. That yoga and wisdom. But here Lord Shiva is trying to say which type of knowledge you must be know. That if you are thinking that only the listening to the shastras, only to the reading to the shastras, or whatever the shastras are written, that by following that functions only, if you are getting that higher step, that is not enough here. Okay. So Lord Shiva is again here it is said, "O goddess, your words is true that ignorance is the cause of bondage and wisdom is the means of salvation." What are the self, how it will be created in the bondage, or how the self is come in this materialistic world? Because of the ignorance only. Because when avidya is there, then automatically all the self get connected with the that ahankara, and that will be formed this all type of bondage. But when vidya is there, then automatically salvation is there. So how this vidya will become? By knowing only at that supreme or Shiva, that I know who is Lord Shiva. Okay, through knowledge. Through knowledge means my father is also telling that that statue is considered as the Lord Shiva. So you have to worship like this. So by we also known from our family that our family parampara, how the rituals are conducting, that we are getting for our family. Whenever society is creating different type of temples, that also we know that that linga is there, and he is the that considered as the Lord Shiva. But by knowing in this much that we need to worship the Lord Shiva, and that I will get the moksha, that knowledge is not enough. Okay, by knowing also that Lord Shiva is telling here, by knowing only Supreme and Shiva, that I am Shiva, that knowledge is not enough to get this means get out of this imperfections, like whatever the imperfections we describe here, the desire, anger, fear, disease, joy, and the sorrow, all are cannot remove if cannot be free if you are only thinking that he is Shiva, that knowledge is enough. No. So you have to be out of that. So whenever you are coming in the path of yoga, means so to get out of this imperfection, one should or one also required yoga. Okay. So all of you clear about this? These three questions are clear by all of you? Can
Yes,
we
Yes,
go
ma'am.
for question number 4, or we will stop here?
We should proceed, ma'am, for
What about others?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in question number 3, we know here the importance of the yoga. That knowledge, which type of knowledge is important? By knowing only Shiva, that is not enough to get out of this imperfection. So you should know the yoga. So here next question is asked by the goddess Parvati. How one get free from this ignorance? Then whenever you are telling avidya is the main reason to make this bondage life, or to attach in this materialistic world, then how one become, you just before discussing about this impurities, we are also discussing about the impurities, how imperfections will become. Then main reason is ignorance, avidya. Then how one will be avoid this avidya, or how one will be get free from this avidya? You just now tell me. So here by discussing this, Lord Shiva is telling self is self descriptions. Okay. So Lord Shiva is telling, if you thinking self is very perfect, because the self is pure, because it is the form of supreme self. But perfection of the self is perfect, no doubt. But perfection of the self is two types. Okay. So one is attributive, another one is non-attributive. This perfection is of two types. One is attributive perfection, another one is non-attributive perfection. Means with forms and without forms. So here, with form means the self which has I-ness, means your ahankara is there, and think that supreme is separate from me. Okay. Who the self who is thinking that I am the owner of everything, that supreme power's role is nothing in my life, is just separate from me. So that type of thinking, which type of self is doing, that self is called as the attributive, because he is just thinking that form. Means how we are thinking that Shiva is one form. Okay, but when you understand a little bit more clear, so because of this, jiva bind with the ego, pride, attachment, take the form of activity with which individual self is involved in worldly attachment. Okay, because here mostly Lord Shiva is telling, when in the self the form is created, means I-ness is created, the ignorance automatically will become because of his ahankara or ego. So that attributive self perfection is called as form. or the attributive self, perfection. But when it is called as the non-attributive, means without form, it is devoid of imperfection, pure like sky. Because when I-ness will become, automatically imperfection will become. Because we've seen in the last second question answer how the all dhatus are bind, how the attributes will be bind. Then it created the body or pinda. Because first, who is the creator here? Because of the I-ness, it is all are attached. But when the I-ness is absent in the self, then that self is become free from the all type of imperfections and become pure like the sky. Okay, that type of self is called here non-attributive. Okay, self is without birth, consistency and destruction, and it is without ego, attachment, and completely free from their awareness. Okay, so that type of self is called here non-attributive. Mainly, if we want to understand, that is, ego is not present in the non-attributive, but in the attributive, means attribute when come, that the form will become, form means ego will become here. Okay. So next, Lord Shiva said that both man of wisdom, who is the called as the Gyani, and the man of ignorance, who is the Agyani, are sailing the same boat. Why it is said the sailing the same boat? Because Agyani unknowingly is knowing only the shastras, not performing the yoga practices, but he is the knower of the everything. He know the who is Shiva, but don't following the yoga practices or not following the yoga practices. That person is here considered as the Gyani according to the Lord Shiva. How he is comparing that type of Gyani and the Agyani who is involved in the materialistic world, both are same. Why? Because both are don't know how to control his senses, and they both are don't know how to control his mind, because they're not following any type of activity or such activity of the yoga practices. Okay, so that Lord Shiva is try to say here, the both man of wisdom. Wisdom means here mainly considered as the who is reading only shastras and the follow the worship system of the shastras, but not doing the any type of practices of the yoga sadhana. Okay, that persons are considered here the only Gyani here. And the man of ignorance who don't know about the shastras and don't performing any yoga practices, they are ignorant or the Agyani. Both are sailing in the same boat. Okay, they are equally attached to the physical world. Okay, they are Gyani are more attached and Gyani also a little bit attached, but both are attached with the materialistic world. The person who is not master of his senses and greedy towards his wants can never be considered as the man of wisdom. So again, Lord Shiva is trying to give the definition of the man of wisdom. Who is real man of wisdom? Who is controlling above his all the senses and greedy, not so greedy about the any type of wanting, the absence of all type of wants and absence of all the things of the what are the impurities. That person only considered as the man of wisdom according to the Lord Shiva here. Okay, so even the gods cannot achieve moksha without yoga sadhana. When Lord Shiva is again is telling that gods also not achieve the moksha without yoga sadhana. Then how a Gyani will be got this? So even after gaining wisdom, its maturity is not possible without yoga. If you know the Shastra Gyan, so that is not enough. So you have to do the yoga sadhana to mature your sadhana, to get that result. Thus, it should be accepted without any controversy that it is not possible to achieve salvation without yoga. If you have a knowledge, that is not enough. You have to go through the yoga practices to control your mind, to master over your senses. Then only your all impurities becomes purified, and you become again self, and again the self becomes the pure. When that comes in the pure state, then only you got that salvation, or you got that moksha state, or that parampada state. Okay, so that it is mandatory, or it is very very important that you must be go through the yoga practices. So all of you clear till fourth question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All are here or not? Okay, I hope.
Ma'am, I had some doubt.
Yes.
The questions which we are discussing, the 12 questions, they
Hmm.
are, we are talking right now in English, like very simplified way. We are just discussing like a story. But in exam, will it come in form of Sanskrit? Because even if we are opting for English medium paper, they
Yes.
ask things like Sanskrit, na, ki in this, what is the meaning of avidya according to the author, or something like this, they will ask. So, are we
Uh,
supposed to learn the Sanskrit or the actual question which was asked in the
yes,
language?
yes. I understand. I get your points, but in the Yog Bees, we did not see till now related to the Sanskrit slokas. It is come, so that we are discussing in this way. Okay.
Okay. Even the
What?
201 shlokas in Sanskrit, we have to learn those, or we should know the some of them, because suddenly they will ask that this shloka is from which text. They will just give one random verse
Yeah,
from
yeah,
any
yeah.
book.
Yeah, I know what you are telling, but whatever till now we are discussing the old questions. Till now, how much we seen. So all the questions related to the slokas, it is coming from the other text. From Yog Bees, it is not coming. So that we are not added here. But if you want to just go through, then I can send you the whole PDF. So please you go through it. But till now, how much I know from, I think last 24 June, in June 24, I think two maximum you can expect one or two question from Yog Beach. Okay. So I don't think that for one question we need to complete that all the 201 you have to remember.
Hmm.
Okay. But still,
Okay.
if you want, I can send you the PDF if it is